Hey guys, welcome back to Frenemies. I'm Ian. We're back with more Batwoman. Last episode, everyone found out Kate's secret. Well, everybody that knew her found out about her secret. Like your dad knows now. Sophie now knows, even though she kind of knew before, but then she got tricked into not knowing. But now she knows again now. Jacob feels terrible about how he had treated Batwoman / his daughter before her last supposed moments. I mean, I don't think they're gonna bring her back as Kate, like bring Kate back. Maybe there'll be an instance where she needs to have plastic surgery and she'll come back later. Like maybe Ryan will stick around for the season. I don't see that. I don't know. I don't see that. I feel like this is supposed to be the Batwoman that stays. I mean, they didn't plan for KK to leave for Ruby. Hold on. Huh. Yeah. I doubted myself for a moment that was her name, even though I've been saying her name for a while now. But Ruby Rose is the same name as in the Ruby show. Anyway, did not figure that out till just now. But that interesting. Anyway, luckily Tommy, they figured him out. I'm pretty sure that was probably supposed to be something a little bit more drawn out, not necessarily too much way, but it was just supposed to be more than an episode kind of a thing, more than a premiere. I don't think it was supposed to even be premiere, considering that it had to end early. He's back in Arkham. We have a Batmobile, which kind of looks a little more just like a sports car, but I'm pretty sure it's better. It might grow on me. I don't hate it. Alice is now going after Sophia. Excuse me. Sophia. It's just Sophia, right? Is it Sophia or... God dang. So, Sophia. Okay, so just Sophia. She's going after her now. I'm assuming that Ryan eventually... I mean, again, she's not... She's gave the Batsuit back to them. I'm assuming when she gets the Batsuit, her goals kind of partially be, apart from protecting the people of Gotham, going after Alice, considering she feels she kind of is responsible for her mother's death, of course, because DC, and she currently has kryptonite poisoning, so that's unfortunate. Again, hope she goes to the team for help with that, considering they would know. Well, she would know that one hospital is probably not a good idea because she'd have to explain that, and she might assume that the people that worked with Batwoman would have at least an idea of how to deal with this. So her initial thought, I would hope, would be to go to them. Otherwise, she might die, and I don't think that they're going for that kind of a twist for this second Batwoman. I don't think it's a twist that anybody would really like.
Someone, quite literally, crashed our tea party. But she forgot to take her party favor.
Why is that literally?
So I'm gonna need you to make sure she gets it. Like a tea tray in the sky.
Huh? Oh, flash, right, duh. So I wonder who's in the suit though. Like, probably just a stunt person, but I don't know. I don't know what I meant. Not bad.
Beating up bad guys won't be a problem.
You were certainly around enough of them.
Alright, cool.
In Blackgate.
Every second you're inside, you're assessing threats, trying to figure out who's dangerous. You get real good at reading people.
Good way to spin that.
Can tell you a lot.
How could you not know? You two spent nearly every day together. You were her associate.
Assistant, actually. And it looks like she was good at keeping secrets from both of us.
We know she didn't work alone. Who were her other friends?
Just looking into any possible enemies.
You mean other than every agent in this building, right? Or maybe just the ones that lured her into a trap. Tried to gun her down on the 50-yard line. You know, it's too bad she didn't have someone who loved her watching her back.
Okay, all right.
I think we're done here.
That's a bit harsh there, Luke. I understand what you're trying to do, though.
Now you got something to say. After staying quiet for months about who Batwoman really was.
Not a secret to tell.
It wasn't my secret to tell.
No, just your secret to keep. Can't imagine Kate would.
There's plenty of throwables. I'd have taken that guy out first. I probably wouldn't have been able to, but. There we go. Okay. Oh. Okay. Well, he stopped him.
Hands in the air!
Of course. Where'd you come from? All of a sudden, Jesus.
I already told them I didn't rob that place.
Yeah, I read that. I also read that you were standing over a bloody cashier with your prints on the gun.
Because I was trying to stop it.
Casting yourself as the hero? Now that's new.
Real? Come on, Jesus. Just interrogate or ask the dude.
Got the security footage. Her story checks out.
Should have done that before accusing her. Sloppy job.
Okay.
Alice is Beth Kane, isn't she?
Who told you that?
Girl goes missing 16 years ago. Nobody's found. That was Alice before she was Alice.
Tell me where I can find her,
Girl, I don't know.
and I will get justice for both of our moms.
How would I know this?
They say revenge is a dish best served cold, but I think the portions are big enough for us to split.
Why would I ever work with a psychopath?
Because there's another psychopath hunting you who's even scarier than me, let's be real.
Oh, I'm not afraid of her.
I don't
You
think so.
should be.
Correct your lying, Julia.
And if she killed him, she must really be unraveling.
Oh, man.
Wait, is he still?
Nope.
Then how is he moving?
I don't know.
Don't do it. Ugh. Just run on that part. It's fine.
Nobody saw that.
Yeah, you want to use the cape to slow your descent.
Things that would have been nice to know before I jumped 10 stories.
Nothing stopping you from asking before throwing yourself off a building. FYI.
He's got a point. Well, both you do.
Look heroic. Straighten that back and lose the hands on the hips because
That's
it's
super
overkill.
dope.
Now clench those fists, chin up. And now try and angle that cape so it catches some wind.
Thank you, Mary. Superhero PR. Oh.
Gage?
Well, don't be a butt about it.
Get that imposter off the roof.
Dan,
Gotham! You need to get out of here immediately!
you're super excited, brother.
What exactly are you doing in my sister's hand-me-downs?
The one thing she wouldn't do. I'm gonna kill you.
Batwoman does not kill.
Well, like you said, I'm not Batwoman.
I cannot let you do this.
Don't think you're in the position to stop me.
Wait, is he?
Ryan. Ryan!
Does he have any kind of control of this? Hey, what the heck? Alice learned to fight anyway. Well, that was not the way you should have done that.
For you.
On the contrary, we're just getting started.
Radar footprint's huge.
Oh,
Whatever it is,
man.
it's straight for Ryan.
Was I
Sonars.
supposed to do something?
Oh, boy. This is just not cool, man. You can't. What is up with those bats? Why are their eyes like that? What did you do?
You don't think these are the bats that Alice fed Mouse to?
And they could be the carriers for the toxin that killed him.
Oh, duh.
I gotta get back.
God, I'm an idiot.
I've already lost one of my sisters. I'm not about to lose the, only one I have left.
You really believe Kate's dead?
So we couldn't use her
Poisoning
blood?
my mom wasn't enough. You had to go and poison all of Gotham, too. And now I'm just supposed to believe that you gift wrap the antidote.
I just figured I'd missed a lot of your birthdays, so...
God dang it.
There's a decommissioned subway station on Neither Avenue. Should be empty.
No, that's a homeless encampment. There's people down there.
Okay, working on it.
No rush.
Yeah, he's doing his best. Although, to be fair, yeah, we could put some pep in that step there, Luke.
Get off the bus now!
No.
Please.
Whoa.
Are you kidding me? Look, man, I'm trying to save lives. Now what? We are gonna blow it up. Okay, well. We'll run. Alright, job well done.
Batwoman?
Oh, no, I'm not really Batwoman.
Well, you are to me.
I just want to know if we're over because you don't trust me, or because I'm not Kate.
Both.
I don't want to give up hope that Kate's alive.
You believe she's still alive, don't you?
I think that if we're gonna find her, you and I have to work together.
Kate Kane was top of her class at one of the most elite military academies in the world. And she still struggled to take down criminals.
Maybe she didn't spend enough time with them. I have been trapped in a life surrounded by criminals.
That's not a bad...
I know how they think, how they act, but most of all, I know how to stop them.
Batwoman has a code. No killing. Fine. Until Kate's back.
Come on. I'll show you around. It's my first time giving a tour.
Greetings, G-Town. So how was your night? It was a real bat-tastrophe. Victory was...
Wait, she never told them about the poisoning.
Tonight I saw a girl who reminded me of myself. Scared, but fearless.
That's coincidental, but yeah, whatever. Fate.
She's mine.
Oh. Is that her?
Sophia will see you die for this.
Maybe. But first she has to see me.
Is she taking her? Okay, well, I was wondering what was going to, stop Sophie from actually taking Alice. I didn't see her winding up back at the Crow's building. So is she being taken to Sophia now? I'm assuming that was her plan. Was to be taken there. I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be to intimidate Sophia, but I think it was just to let her know, hey, I took this and used it everywhere. Come get me. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure what she plans to do when she gets there, but I mean, we're not supposed to know her plan exactly, so so I don't know. I doubt she would just go for a direct just attack like that. Just when she's there trying to kill her, just doesn't sound like Alice. So I don't know. I'm wondering if Julia will end up helping, perhaps, maybe, I don't know. But we now have Ryan officially as the new Batwoman, so we are now stable. Well, we'll see how she does more full time. She does have some getting used to with how to land and just utilizing the suit in general. She knows how to throw a batarang, so that's good. I think the last time it just launched, so that's kind of what threw off the aim. She's not used to just like it shooting from her arm. Because she's half a dozen martial arts she's trained in, so that definitely helps with portraying or not portraying, but being Batwoman. I'm wondering if that lends to her like with trained in certain weaponry, like in throwing knives or things of the like shurikens or whatever. I don't know what. Obviously, they haven't specified the kinds of martial arts she's been trained in. I'm assuming like maybe more conventional ones. I don't know how if they're conventional or obscure, like some of the ones that Bruce learned, or even oh dang, I can't remember the one. Wing Chun's not the one with projectile, is it? It's just the anyway. But I mean, considering how trained she is, I'm sure she could pick it up. I mean, she threw that batarang pretty well, pretty accurately to begin with. So a little more training just to kind of tighten things up in that regard. But just utilizing the suit is going to take some effort because, yeah, again, like last time, the lenses. I mean, she's got the lenses down now, but they just kind of popped up because she didn't know how the heck the suit worked in the first place. And again, the shooting the batarang out of the gauntlet or whatever. And she even said to the one guy she had no idea what one of the buttons did, so we're gonna have to educate her on that. We're gonna have to put her some training. Probably, hopefully, it'll just be in next episode. Because somebody mentioned before that they hope it's not gonna be basically a mirror of last season where Kate's kind of learning. Like she's got the training. I don't know how. I mean, Luke did mention that she had top of the class at the military. I really blanked on the term, but you know what I'm trying to get at. And she was pretty well trained. I'm assuming she was more skilled than Ryan is, at least currently. So she might be less skilled or trained in that regard, but to somewhat balance it is she might have more of a knowledge or like I guess kind of a read on people. Like she mentioned one here at nearing the end, and in the beginning when she was talking to that one dude she was trying to get a job from. That being a black egg kind of helped her in that to kind of read people better to survive. So that would help her. I mean, not that Kate was that she couldn't read people, but I'm assuming this is in a very different way. Each person's gonna have their specialties because I mean there was each Robin had their specialty or strengths. With Dick, he was just more acrobatic. He was he picked up on the fighting, I think, the fastest. I don't know about compared to Jason. I think Jason had to work at it more, but he was also more aggressive. So he was more ruthless. Whether that's good or bad, who's to say exactly? I mean, sometimes if he went more towards brutal and possibly near killing people, then yeah, that's bad. And then there was Tim, who was more the detective of the three Robins. So yeah, I mean, she's gonna have probably her strengths, her weaknesses compared to Kate's Batwoman, but she'll have something up on Kate's as well. So it's gonna be interesting seeing that come into play. Again, that might play into the whole, her getting showing her getting better the way Kate did. It might just be different. Like she might already be accustomed to certain things or at least get familiar with things at the suit better or faster than Kate had with certain functions of the job. Just need to work more on others, so it won't be probably like an exact reflection of how Kate did. Excuse me. And I was jumping a little bit. It's kind of parallel, but I was getting annoyed with Luke a bit this episode. But I understand why he was so intensely against Ryan becoming Batwoman. He almost feels like it'd be giving up on Kate, and he doesn't think it's necessary. But unfortunately, whether she's dead or not, while she's gone, the city does need someone to protect it. So, and she did pretty well. Won against Alice, which I know that Kate fought Alice before, but how come Alice knows how to fight so well? Where did she learn? Because she did that leg sweep that was pretty clean, and it probably wasn't very easy in that fluffy skirt that she tends to wear so much. When he says, "Okay, fine, but only until Kate comes back," you can see him struggling with, like, he's fighting really hard to not give up on Kate. He doesn't want to believe it, and I don't want to believe it either, that she's dead. I really hope. I don't know how they'd go about it. How they go about it if she isn't dead is the problem. Like, the fact of the matter is, Ruby Rose isn't coming back thus far. Anyway, maybe she will. Maybe she will eventually. Maybe she'll want to join. I don't know if how they feel about that. Yeah, if they'd be accepting. Maybe they could have two Batwomans. I mean, maybe they could have two Batwomans. Two Batwomans. Batwomans. That'd be very helpful. I mean, maybe Luke could build another suit. I don't know. I mean, they were able to alter Batman's suit, so maybe they can just create another one. I mean, it's obviously that'd be more difficult, but I don't see. Maybe they could, but I don't know. Again, on the chances that Ruby Rose doesn't come back, I don't know how they're gonna deal with Kate being dead or alive. Again, they could go a surgery route. That's fully possible, especially considering what they basically established in the show already, of how people can replace someone else's face. Maybe Kate needed it afterwards, or she needed to hide from Sophia. Again, I don't see Kate like being the hiding type, but maybe for the time being, where her situation, maybe she needed to hide. I don't know. Like at least how they would write it again, because the reason she was gone is because Rose was gone. So I don't know how they would go about that exactly. But I am interested. I hope if they were to bring her back, Kate, I hope they would do it well in a way that wouldn't push out Ryan as well. Because again, I feel like it would be helpful to have more than one vigilante in the city, more than one Batwoman. One can maybe even take a different name. I mean, or they can keep it, because that'd be kind of confusing. Or that could just like build on it, like built on the legend of Batwoman. Like she can seem in multiple places at once. Although of course most people maybe would probably realize there's more than one, especially considering that one is obviously black, one's obviously white. So there's that difference there. But still, either way, very helpful. And if one needed a break or do something, one needed to take live to what's the word? Keep a promise, keep an obligation. One could cover the role of Batwoman for the time being, so they could take turns, shifts, if you will. Man, okay, so there's the Crows not looking good right now, especially they really focused on Jacob as well. I don't know if that's gonna. Oh, my camera shut off. It seems, or stopped recording. Oh well, happens. But I'm wondering if. Oh, whoa, that was weird. I'm wondering if, considering what they were at the rally and the fact that they were trying to bring Batwoman back, trying to go against at least the last showing of the Crows' opinions on Batwoman. They're trying to go against that and trying to let Batwoman know that they want her back. I'm wondering, considering they didn't necessarily go against Batwoman when she showed up, if that changed, if they, pulled back on if the people that were at the rally pulled back on their frustration with the Crows. Thinking some of the Crows were, pretty sure there's some corrupt people still in the Crows, but for those that aren't, I feel bad for them being. I'm sure if Jacob hadn't decided to turn against Batwoman, that they wouldn't have, or at least some of them wouldn't have. But I don't know. I'm just curious how the public is going to take the Crows, how they're going to continue to. What's the word I'm looking for? Run them through the. Can't remember the term. For those that know what I'm trying to say, please tell me in the comments because it's gonna drive me crazy. I think it's through the coals. Anyway. Yeah, I'm just wondering if that's gonna be a continuous thing. That maybe the Crows Jacob have to build up the trust back with the people to trust them again, and not hate them for what they showed. I'm curious as to why this poison made the eyes glow. Because I don't recall it doing that before. Yeah, Mary, it would just show. I think they were bleeding from the nose. I think they melt on the inside or something. Or that's essentially what Alice had said. It kind of does, their insides melt or something like that. It didn't seem like their eyes had ever glowed. Anyway, I think it was just kind of to show it passing into the bats, possibly. Man, so Mouse is just dead. For sure. I'm pretty sure he's just dead. I don't think he's coming back. It's interesting that the actor was there, unless they just had a really good dummy, with his a mold of his face made. But I think he's just gone. I don't think he. I mean, a bat burst out of his stomach. Ugh. God, I hate when that kind of crap happens. Can't even say it apparently. I thought maybe it was something else other than the poison that Alice had used before. But apparently it was not, because Sophia seemed to realize what it was. For a second, whenever Jacob and Sophie had brought Mary and Luke in, I thought that they were just mad that Kate was Batwoman, but they were just trying to figure out if they could. They're trying to find a lead so they could track down the one that killed Kate in the first place, or that tried to kill Kate, whichever one it is. So that kind of confused me for a moment. I was like, really? That's where you're going with this? But they were just really intent on finding the killer. I'm sorry about the hiccups. Sophie was kind of annoying me a little bit this episode, especially the way she kind of went at Luke and at Ryan. I get it. She's frustrated and she's hurt by apparently, so Julia not telling her that Kate was Batwoman, but the fact that, you know, Kate kept that secret in the first place, and the possibility that Kate's dead, that's also weighing on her. But Ryan did have a past before, not including the one where she was framed, but yeah, it doesn't look good. But you should still not, even if they've done most of the crime that they were charged with, you shouldn't just automatically pin it on them. Like, maybe assume, but don't just like keep going at them like they did it. You still have to look at the evidence. And she didn't even wait till they got the footage from the security cameras. She didn't even ask the freaking the vendor in the first place. Like, that was, he would have easily, well, I was gonna say he could have easily straightened things out, but he didn't see that she wasn't with them. But well, she kind of did. She came in earlier, and she was asking about, you know, a cheaper version of the medicine she was trying to get. I'm trying to remember, did he knock out the guy before she jumped in? Oh, nope, yep. He knocked him out first. Okay, so he didn't see her try to help or anything. But still, I mean, I'm pretty sure he would have known. Either way, security cameras still would have straightened things out. Easily could have waited before going in there. And you would have had more, if it had showed her actually attacking the guy, then that would have been damning evidence. But instead, you look like a fool. Going back to Sophie and Julia, whenever the thing is, Julia was right. It wasn't her secret to tell. If, you know, Kate wanted to keep it secret, that's her call, and she should be upset with Kate about that, not necessarily Julia. But she's like, yeah, but you felt it was, what did she say? It's not my secret to tell, but it felt like it was your secret to keep. Like, I mean, not telling you means she's keeping it. So yes, Sophie, come on. I understand you're frustrated and hurt that she knew and you didn't, but don't be an idiot, okay? I get it, but still, stupid. Now I am hoping that Ryan's gonna be a good detective. It seems like maybe she has the potential. I don't know if that was what they were intending to show whenever she put together Alice as Beth. Because I mean, it's not public knowledge, but and I guess it's not super obvious to outsiders as to why Jacob didn't kill Alice. It could have just more of a jumping to conclusion what Ryan did. It could seem outlandish, but it makes sense as well. So I don't know. The fact that she kind of looked into their that, you know, Beth was presumed dead before. I don't think she knew that before because she didn't really know who Kate was in the first place. So I feel like there might possibly be a shine on her and her potential for detective work. Kate didn't have that necessarily. Like, there was points, but I think Kate was still needed to work on that in terms of the job. Not that she was dense or anything, but just that she wasn't a detective, which is, you know, I think Bruce has a relatively high IQ, so that's kind of unfair, but still, she does need to work on it a little bit more. But I think I'm wondering if that's like, again, like I was saying, a specialty that different versions of the character will have. Maybe Ryan's is she's a bit more of a better detective than Kate was. Maybe I'm looking too much into the whole figuring out that Alice is Beth thing, but we'll see, I guess. I'm curious what Alice's plan was to bring Julie in. I know I kind of talked about it a bit already before, but like, what would be what would her involvement be? Like, would she just be? She said that they would have watch each other's backs. Is that just to like make? Because she also stated that Sophia's after both of them, so it was just to like make sure that neither of us dies, a self-preservation kind of thing, or was it she wanted her in on the plan to take down Sophia? I mean, I think she mentioned that as well, but I just meant like in terms of like how exactly she'd have her take down Sophia. I don't know. I mean, we know that she's a spy. Alice knows she's a spy, so she knows she's skilled. So maybe, I mean, I'm pretty sure she knows that she had been working with Sophia for a little bit. I don't know. I'm not really sure what she feels her skills would add to her plan. She can't necessarily infiltrate because she knows Julia, and she betrayed her. She sees that Julia betrayed her, so not really sure what she would use her for exactly. But I guess there's still a chance for Julia to team up with Alice, so I guess we could possibly see where that would go. And on the plus side of Ryan being the new Batwoman, nobody really knows her secret. So we're back to square one. Because before, nobody knew. Jacob and Sophie didn't know that Kate was Batwoman. Julia knew, Luke knew, and Mary knew. Now it's just Mary and Luke, and even Julia doesn't know. So we're back to square one, kind of. Minus another, because before Julia knew, now she doesn't even know. So that's funny. But the thing is, it's different in this case because sometimes when you want someone to figure out somebody else, like their secret, like with one like Kate and her family, you wanted them to find out, kind of like you wanted Mary to find out, you wanted her dad to find out so he would stop trying to kill Batwoman, and I don't know if you really want Sophie to know. I don't know if that really affected me in any way, but you know what I'm trying to say. You always want their family or loved ones to find out the truth. Just they would stop thinking badly of them when they had to miss certain things or stuff like that. But in this case, Ryan doesn't really have a connection to Jacob or Sophie, at least not in the sense of any kind of friendship or positive familiarity. Like Ryan and Sophie only know each other because of Ryan's past and her criminal past, I suppose, her minor criminal past. So it's not really. Thus far, we don't have anybody that we really need or want to find out Ryan's identity. I love Mary so much. She's still, I think, my favorite character in the show. She is a great hype and PR for superheroes. She's like, with the way she was talking to Ryan about having to pose, how to pose for the people. Like put your arms back down off your hips, straighten your back. Make sure you turn so that the cape flutters in the wind or catches the wind. And the way she was kind of getting into it, she's like, make sure you turn so that the cape catches the wind. Mary's just great, and I feel she was obviously the one that was more from the get-go backing Ryan in being the new Batwoman, at least temporarily, maybe. Mary's just a great person. And again, I mentioned this in the reaction, don't know if I kept it in, but Ryan did not bring it up to Mary that she's got an issue with kryptonite poisoning. I don't know why she kept that from him, like whenever in the first and last episode where she was like asked to look at it. She's like, no, I'm okay. Like, and you see that you're not okay. You saw a glowing, vein or crack or not crack. You know what I mean? Like you saw it spreading. You saw it glowing. That's not good. A glowing wound is never a positive thing. Well, not negative. Not always, I guess. Sometimes maybe radiation would give you powers and not kill you. It wouldn't be a negative thing. But, I mean, in this instance, it's not the case. I understand why also Jacob would be upset at this Batwoman. At first I was like, come on, dude. I know it's a different Batwoman. It's not your daughter. That doesn't mean he gives you all clear to be hateful towards another Batwoman. but it's more so like, oh my god, it's my daughter, and then that's instantly taken away. So I get why he was pissed off that time. For a second I was like, oh come on, but then you understand just the whiplash of emotion that he had probably at that moment, and the despair and disappointment of realizing it wasn't his daughter who came back. But hopefully, at the very least, with her saving the people there, it can lead to the Crows and Jacob having a more relaxed relationship with Batwoman, a more accepting relationship, seeing how she was able to save them from the virus that the bats had contracted and were spreading. Also, how dare Alice steal the sonar trick from the bats? That's stealing branding. It's not even your branding. Unless she put the bat suit on or a cowl. That'd be weird. She does have a thing for wearing animal masks, so still, hands off. I'm also curious as to why the toxins didn't kill the bats. Like, I don't know a whole lot about bats. I understand they're diseased, but like them contracting a disease that is fatal, would that not, like something that they didn't originally have in them, would that not kill them? I would assume it would. Maybe it's because the people seem to start to deteriorate pretty quickly after being bitten by the bats. And the bats are much smaller, so I would have thought that would have killed them much quicker. But maybe I'm just a fool and I just don't know anything. It's very possible. I hate that I like Alice. Like, I hate her, but I like her. She's a very fun, bad character. It's just the acting is amazing on her part. Like, it's not too much in the sense of like it's dopey, I guess, or too much, I guess. I think I already said that, but you know what I mean. She has like the facial expressions and the way she delivers the lines, and she just does a great job. And it's a lot of times she's just funny, even the parts where she's kind of sadistic. But sometimes the sadistic parts are just straight up sadistic and not funny. But when she was talking about Mary being the last sister she has, and the way she was like, "Ugh, she's the last sister I have." Again, I thought that was a funny line. But god dang it, Alice, you killed her mom, and she's got some nerve, or just a lack of empathy. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I feel like she has a very sadistic sense of empathy. That might be more accurately stated. Now that they brought the Batmobile in, I'm wondering if we're going to utilize that more. I'm assuming, like I do hope we brand it a little bit more, because it doesn't really, maybe not like stick a bat symbol on it, but I feel like it needs a little bit more to it. It just seems bland and sports car-y. Like, the Batmobiles don't really have color to it most of the time, except for like the 60s one, which is fine when it's like more of a stylistic car, but it doesn't have much color to it, and it's not really a stylistic car. I don't know. Again, I know TV budget, only so much you can do, but a little something, maybe a splash of color. I don't know. Again, I'm sorry nitpicking about the Batmobile. It's a staple of the Bat family saga. So it's just something that kind of irks me slightly. And has Mary lost hope? Does she not believe that Kate's alive anymore? Or is she just like barely holding on to that? Because whenever Jacob was asking her about it, saying I'm trying to not make the same mistake with Beth, and Mary, when he was worried when he was asking her. He seemed worried or hurt on the edge of falling apart when he asked her, "You do believe she's still alive, right?" And she almost broke right there, and she was saying, "I feel like if we're gonna find her, we need to work together." And then when they hugged, she was not letting everything out, because then her body would have been shaking, and that would have let, you know, her dad know. And I don't think she would have wanted that. I think she's trying to make sure he doesn't lose hope and fall apart, because she doesn't want to see him go through that again. But I'm wondering if she's lost hope entirely. Like I feel like she's portraying that she has hope still for both Jacob and Luke, but she might not have it actually her own, because as we saw like last episode at the end, we saw her curled up holding Kate's jacket and crying and sobbing. So I don't know if she actually has hope herself, or if she's just doing like keeping up a facade to protect those she cares about, which is devastating in its own. I stated it before, I hate seeing Mary like that, and if she's holding all of the heartache and despair on her own, it's gonna tear her apart. Like, she's gonna fall apart even worse than they would. And if they have each other to not lose hope, but like to maybe if she's dead, or at least for the time being to accept the fact that she could be dead, they could at least have each other to support. But now she's just the only one that I think is supporting those two. Well, I think that's all I got for this week's episode, guys. I'm hoping that soon that Ryan will tell the others about the kryptonite poisoning, because that's going to hinder her on the job whenever she's fighting. That's probably going to have an effect. That's probably what's going to happen. She's going to hold off telling anybody until it probably almost gets her killed, or just like messes her up in the job. Maybe not fatally, but it'll be noticed by Luke, and he'll get on her case about it. I'm not looking forward to that. But for now, guys, that is it for this week's episode of Batwoman. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to stick around for next week's episode, be sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you want to see all of our catch-up series or any other possible pulls that we'll have in the future, check out our Patreon. You get access to all that stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys next week.